How's it going, guys? So, Dillian Whyte is going to be fighting for the vacant British heavyweight title against Ian Lewison. Now, for those of you who don't know who Ian Lewison is, I've watched the guy several times, and I have to say, I am pretty surprised that this guy is fighting for the British title. And what surprises me more is the fact that a lot of people, I've seen comments all over the place saying that this is an interesting fight, that Ian Lewison has a chance. Let me just tell you guys right now, I don't see any way whatsoever that Ian Lewison wins this fight. Dillian Whyte, look, it might happen, okay, we never know, but I just can't see it. Look, guys, Ian Lewison to me is so overrated. It's unreal. He's so limited. He's slow. He's fat. Doesn't really have great punch technique. His punch technique is awful, guys. After the first round, he runs out of gas. Terrible stamina. Really, I don't see anything from him that really tells me he can challenge Dillian Whyte. Now, Dillian Whyte to me has a far better skill set. Dillian Whyte is a better athlete, and that's funny to say because Dillian Whyte is not a very good athlete at all, but compared to Ian Lewison, he is. Ian Lewison, who he reminds me of? He's like a slower, more sluggish version of Danny Williams. That's who he reminds me of. He's similar to Danny Williams in the ring, except he doesn't have the kind of energy that Danny Williams had in his prime. Danny Williams was quite a energetic fighter back then, but he Ian Lewison is kind of like that, but just without the kind of heart and energy that he had, and I just don't. I just don't rate the guy at all. I remember watching Prize Fighter a few years ago. I think it was early 2013. Audley Harrison was in that same Prize Fighter, I believe. And I remember he fought Derek Rossi, and Derek Rossi just completely undressed and outboxed Ian Lewison, and it was easy. And he made Ian Lewison look so sluggish in there, and just so wild and just terrible. Now, before then, Ian Lewison had a first round knockout win against Timo Hoffman, but Timo Hoffman is washed up years past his prime. And yeah, in that Derek Rossi fight, he basically exposed every one of Ian Lewison's flaws and just made him look terrible and outboxed him over 3 rounds. And it was quite jarring because going into that fight, I know Derek Rossi is not a bad fighter. He's a pretty awkward guy to deal with. I know that. But, you would expect a prospect slash contender to be able to get the better of Derek Rossi. If they're going to be any kind of significant threat to the division. And Ian Lewison really isn't. I don't really see anything from Ian Lewison that suggests to me he can win this fight. I think that Dillian Whyte is going to badly expose Ian Lewison. I think that this fight is going to be more one-sided than the Dave Allen fight was. I can see Dillian Whyte handily winning this fight. Will it be by stoppage? It's possible because Ian Lewison doesn't have great stamina. So with this being a 12-round fight, it's certainly possible that Whyte could get the stoppage. But either way, I see Whyte beating Ian Lewison. Now, Dillian Whyte, he's been talking a lot of shit lately, about in regards to this fight, because obviously these guys have got some history. They used to train together, and Dillian Whyte, he's been talking a lot of smack, saying how he always wanted to smash Ian Lewison's head in. He never liked him at all. Guys, don't buy into that. That's bullshit. Okay, you know what these guys are like these days. They always when they've got history together, they always want to try and use it to sell the fight, right? That's what they do. They use all that stuff to. It's the same stuff that George Groves and James DeGale did. They pretended that they were lifelong enemies and that they hated each other, and it was just a big grudge match. They do that just to sell the fight. Okay, they know that here in the UK, a good grudge match tends to sell tickets. All right, so that's why they've been doing all that. Okay, don't buy into it at all. But yeah, it's going to be entertaining while it lasts, because although Ian Lewison is not a great fighter, he does try. He lets his hands go. He goes for the knockout. He's a confident guy. That's one thing I like. He is very confident. He will try his best, but I can't see him winning. Look, if he wins this fight, I just don't know what to say because I don't see anything from him that indicates to me that he can even compete with Dillian Whyte on a level playing field. I just don't think he can. Dillian Whyte has a very good jab, a very good counter left hook. Dillian Whyte can move. Dillian Whyte can box. I mean, we saw that Dillian Whyte was able to compete with Anthony Joshua in the ring. He was able to hurt Anthony Joshua. So, if he's, being able to compete with Anthony Joshua to some extent and beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs, I don't see what Ian Lewison is going to do. What is he going to do, guys? But anyway, let me know what you guys think. That is just a quick one. Thanks for watching.